So when you came to think about how to cover this district in the book, what kind of responses from writers did you come across?
There's been a lot of writing about the red light district, obviously. Some of it is by international writers, and the amazement is often bigger on their part than it is on our part. We can see more behind the curtain. They're looking on the other side of the curtain, as it were. But John Irving, for instance, has written a book which was almost completely set in the red light district, and he's done a lot of research here. At night, it can look like a fairy tale here, with those red lights and those beautiful girls, but it's really a dark world. So I tried to also include some pieces and excerpts, shaded some light on the truth behind the myth.
No one who visits Amsterdam could fail to notice that everyone has a bicycle. After the canals, the bike is probably the most instantly recognizable signature of the city. The whir of wheels and ringing bells, the background to its soundtrack. I asked Victor about Amsterdam as a cycling city.
Well, as a real Amsterdammer, I take bicycles for granted, I ride on my bicycle every day. I have 3 near accidents every day with my bicycle. And don't really think about it. And then when you see a guide to foreign visitors of Amsterdam and there'll be a picture of bicycles on the front of it, I would say, oh yeah, that's something that's really remarkable for our city, because when you're living here, you don't give it a second thought that other cities don't have as much bicycles as we do. And we have an enormous amount of bicycles. You could say they're like rats or something.
Well, when you come out of the central station, the first thing you're greeted with is the sight of a huge multi-storey bicycle park.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's something it's a work of art in itself. There's thousands of bicycles on a boat, and there's so many bicycles on the boat that the boat becomes a bicycle itself in a way. And it can be hazardous. I always warn people who come to Amsterdam, watch out for the bicycles, but because the bicycles don't obey to any rule of any traffic rule. It's just, can I go left here? Then I'll go left here. Can I go right here? Then I'll go right here. If I can go right here, but there's somebody coming from the left, I'll just go ahead, and see whatever happens. It's like anarchy.
Where's a good place to start if you're a visitor to Amsterdam and you want to sort of set off on a bicycle? Where's a good place to try?
We're standing now in Vondelpark, and that's a good place to start bicycling, perhaps, because the lanes are quite wide here, and there's not much chance of having an accident here. Or if you do, it'll probably not be too serious. If you're going to bicycle through the center, I would advise people really to be careful and not try and copy the Amsterdam style.
I've noticed there aren't many people wearing cycle helmets here.
No, nobody is wearing a cycle helmet. No, that's you're really a sissy if you do.
And people seem to be able to carry not only children but also very large cargoes on the front of their bicycles here.
Yeah. We have a cargo bike as well at home, and we sometimes I have my 2 children and my dog in the cargo bike. And most of the times it will attract attention from Italian tourists who adore blonde boys, and want to photograph them.
So you pedal around getting your photograph taken.
And again, I'm always surprised that other people find it surprising, because to us a cargo bike and putting everything in your cargo bike is very normal, But it's become a sort of you have the cargo bike father now. There's the modern father who is doing much of the everyday care for his children, like a new generation, new fathers, and that's become a modern cliche, the cargo bike father, Yeah.
Do bikes get stolen in Amsterdam?
Bicycles do get stolen, especially when they're the more fancy bikes, the more the normal. We call Jesus bike. No, that's the high.
We call them sit up and beg bikes.
Sit up and beg.
I like Jesus, but why are they called Jesus bikes?
I don't know what it is. It's
elevated position.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, I don't know why.
Our audio diary was almost complete, but I had just one more question for Victor. What had working on this book done for his own perceptions of the city?
My own relationship with the city, I think, deepened more or less with reading more about the city. I had read a lot about the city, and I always read about the city because there's so much to read and there's so much to tell, and the story is like a living person almost. It's But reading more about it, especially, for instance, with the book by Bianca Stichter about the Amsterdam during wartime, learned me so much about places that I knew only as the place where I go to get my bicycle repaired, or there's the place where I got drunk one evening, and that turned out to be the place where the Waffen-SS had their headquarters. That's something to shed another completely different light to the city you know, and that the city, we're temporary, but the city is eternal. I mean, the city keeps on being here long after we're dead, and we're only passers-by.
That was Victor Schiferli, co-editor with Heather Race of City Pick Amsterdam, out now in paperback. A highly recommended way to get under the skin of the city. More details and ordering information at blackwell.co.uk. That's all for this special Blackwell podcast from Amsterdam, but I hope you'll join me again soon. And until then, thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.